Hello and welcome. My name is Justin.
And I'm Draven.
And you have tuned into the GreyVillain podcast. The universe leads you to where you're supposed to be the moment you're supposed to be there, and you crash landed on Riz's fortified fortress of for sure death. Get ready while we blast this movie with the deadliest weapon in the universe. Draven, what are we blasting today?
We're blasting Men in Black International. And I'm going to let you take opening statement today.
Well, it's a sequel.
A continuation of a series that was in many of our hearts for a long time.
It's a bit of a soft reboot, you could say. It's got a couple of our favorite actors in Chris Hemsworth from Thor and Tessa Thompson, Valkyrie, also in the Thor series. They are the protagonists, right? And then we got Emma Thompson, Agent O. We got Liam Neeson, Agent High T. And we got Agent C, who I don't know who that was. And I don't have my IDBM page open.
And if we're honest, half of these characters don't matter for most of the movie. There's pretty much two characters that matter for the entirety of the movie, and the rest are kind of peppered in as set dressings, it feels like.
Hey, you know what? They have less characters in this than they had in Godzilla.
Okay, that's not a challenge. Godzilla hired literally every B-list actor they could.
Let's see. Agent C is Raffi Spall.
Spall, yeah.
Yeah, I swear I have never seen him in anything else. I don't know what he's from.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. He's not an actor I'm that familiar with. But he played the part well. He played the snobby second in command pretty well.
Yeah, and Rebecca Ferguson played Riza, one of the antagonists.
Yeah, one of the antagonists and background characters that played an important part of the story.
Story, yeah, what story there was. There was no real main antagonist. I mean, he was kind of hidden the whole way through the movie.
Yeah. He was foreshadowed, and you were supposed to get your attention pulled away from him multiple times, and man, did this movie do a bad job at that. So,
are we going to spoil this movie straight off?
Yes, we're...
Okay.
I'm no holds barring. We're not going to fluff the language up. We're spoiling this off the bat, and...
So if you haven't seen it... well, first off, would you recommend anyone else seeing this movie?
Fuck no. I would not pay for this. I'm pissed off I did pay for this. I regret paying for this. Would you?
If you really like the Men in Black series, I mean, maybe. I didn't think it was a giant train wreck. I think it did enough things right to where I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a sequel.
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a sequel with a different writer, like a different writing team entirely. I don't want to see a single writer from this movie do another movie again.
Who wrote this?
I really want to know who wrote this, because they have my spite now. This really pissed me off.
There you go. Matt Holloway and Art Markham.
Oh, that's a shame. Matt Holloway worked on this.
You should feel bad.
Yeah, Matt Holloway should feel bad.
Yeah,
that's why he should feel bad, because he's done a lot of good movies too.
Yeah, Iron Man, the first Iron Man screenplay. He did Transformers: The Last Night.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe is still coming out, and another Transformers movie. We're getting another one.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Wow.
But enough about the actors. Can I just rip into this movie?
Oh.
Because I seem to be the one who is severely disappointed at the table.
Well, all right, man. Take it away.
All right, so Men in Black International has a brilliant cast of people who have brilliant chemistry together, and it works very well. But off the get-go, we start with a cliche. The opening scenes to this movie is... we first watch Agent High T and Agent H go to Paris, correct? That's the first scene we see?
Paris, 2016.
Yeah, and they go up to the Eiffel Tower, which apparently, they tell you more about this later, but apparently it's a gateway for alien activity. It's a portal way. And they go up there, and they first encounter some civilians. They do a joke. It's very reminiscent to the old movies. And then things get real, and you get the slapstick comedy in there. You get Hemsworth getting thrown down an elevator shaft, and it's brilliant. And then we basically get blue-balled. Like, we watch them walk in, we watch them start firing, we watch them fire basically into a blank wall with a small slit in it, and then it cuts. And that's what we're left with, and we pick back up with, I think it was, what, the 1980s, I want to say?
Yeah, 1980s with Tessa Thompson as a child.
As a child, and her parents are having a date night of sorts, and her dad hears a noise out back, and he goes to check it. And when he does, he comes back freaked out about some creature he sees, and he tries to describe it. Antics ensue. Men in Black show up perfectly on time, like always, and this is not new for the franchise.
I mean, this guy's got... He sees Stitch.
Yeah, this thing is Stitch on some sort of crack mixed with heroin and methamphetamines. But yeah, he's speedballing his way through the neighborhood, and the dad gets freaked out, goes to call the cops. Men in Black show up. Men in Black neuralize the parents, but forget the child upstairs.
For some reason.
For some godforsaken reason. They even asked the parents, is there anybody else in the house?
Oh.
And they go, yeah, our daughter upstairs who's sleeping. And they don't go to double check.
And
Mistake number one.
They neuralize them, and then they peace out.
Yeah, they don't even contain the alien. They just leave.
Yeah, why?
So this is sloppy-ass work to begin with.
I mean, the Stitch is called a Tarantian.
Yeah, which that name is just...
Sure.
Yeah, okay. We can't fault them on their names, because
aliens, whatever.
They've had a lot of weird names over the years.
And then Tarantian just pieces out.
Yeah, after having a touching moment with Tessa's younger self.
They shared some language that you heard like one time, and
for some fucking reason remembered it for the rest of her life. But yeah, she introduces herself to it and then says, "Hey, just go out my window," and it does. It dips on out and leaves.
Yep.
And then we skip to modern day. Right?
Yes.
To see Tessa Thompson's character applying different agencies in the U.S. government, trying to find the people who investigate what goes on in the sky. And
the accountants.
The accountants. The
upstairs?
Accounting. But, and she gets marked down as delusional on one of her files after she leaves this place.
I want to know why the accountants get to go upstairs.
Yeah,
like,
what the
shouldn't
fuck?
they be
the
lower?
ground floor. But, never mind. We'll let them get away with their bullshit.
The accountants are upstairs, okay. They got the view.
Yeah, they do.
They're very important people, those accountants.
But then we skip a little bit more forward. We see what her boring-ass day job is in the tech call center, and I'm so sorry for her. But for some reason, she had...
Hey, we care.
We care. Oh, my God. Yeah, we care.
It's the tagline of the tech of the tech call center to make sure that everyone knows that...
they care.
When you call up, we care.
But we pick up with her, and during one of her calls with a customer... she pulls up another window, which shows an anomalous object flying through space. And first off, why the fuck is she remote accessing what looks to be like a super nice telescope footage from her workplace? And how hasn't she been caught?
Yeah, do they not care about the fact that she's looking at other things while working? I mean,
yeah, especially because she seems to delay her call intentionally to pay attention to her personal work on the side. But nobody seems to give a fuck. In fact, her coworker seems to be really interested in it. And
super interested in the
dude.
ALIENS.
I don't know why you insist on whispering and spelling it out, too. But
to show you that I can spell.
Yeah, we assume so. You're working in an IT company.
I did it really slow just to make sure I spelled it out right.
I can see you struggling behind there. You're looking around a lot. But, yeah, so then she goes, oh, well, Terry's back to pick up his kids. Mind you, we don't know what the fuck that means yet. She says that before we see the newspaper.
That is it is a bit of the newspapers are a bit of a Easter egg for those Men in Black folks that really love it. That the National Enquirer is all is the real news.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, just Jimmy the alien came back for his kids. He's like, I'm coming back, bitches, and So he came back for his kids.
He came back, and
he did not abandon his children. I mean, this is an alien goes all over, from another planet, but he still came back.
Yeah, CPS was not happy with him, and he still tried coming back, and this time, Men in Black were here to stop him. And we come into her doing a very awkward cab ride to the middle of nowhere, where she finds that Men in Black have set up a sort of holographic force field thing to kind of disguise the area.
This thing's badass, actually.
It is really cool. I like the effect. I loved how they did it.
Do you really think that the pigeons would just fly through? I mean, obviously they would fly through the part that it looks like open air, but I mean, some of them flew into what looked like the fence.
Yeah, it did seem like there was a little bit of miscoordination, but at the same time, these fucking birds fly into windows all the time. So, do we really want to give them any credibility here?
No, you're right. You're right.
So with that, with the pigeons flying through and showing her the way, she then walks through the magic portal, or the holographic field to block her view, and she sees the spaceship and Terry getting put in the back of a cop car, basically, of Men in Black's cop car. And
Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy. I'm sorry. Man, names are not my friend.
Alien names are rough.
Yeah, man, alien names are rough. So he gets getting thrown in the back of a car, and she kind of nopes her way out again, takes off her clothes to reveal a suit, jacket, tie, undershirt, and skirt.
She's like Superman. She's underneath Superwoman all the time.
And then she walks to the cab and goes, follow these people, before they show up, mind you, on the street.
Yeah.
And he's confused as hell, and then they show up, and she follows them.
Yeah.
And so far, the events are very concise, and you're seeing the cliches play out, and it's very obvious that what they're going for.
It's well done, but it's pretty simple.
It is very simple and very predictable, and that's my issue with it. You don't have to be flashy to make a good story, but don't make it so predictable that a 2-year-old could look at it and go, oh, she's gonna find them, and then somehow bribe a super secret organization to let her on their payroll because she was just paranoid enough to be in the right place at the right time. Mind you, that is the entire tagline of this movie. Is being in the right place at the right time.
The universe leads you to where you're supposed to be the moment you're supposed to be there.
And man, I love that saying, but fuck this movie for running it to the ground.
Isn't it kind of destiny?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's destiny.
Which, I mean, what if I just say no?
Exactly. And
I hate destiny. It's just kind of a silly concept.
They again run it into the ground more by going, isn't everything just a chemical reaction? When they're talking about love, they goes, isn't the universe just a chemical reaction?
Oh, thanks, science guy.
And yeah, it's like, oh, really? So now you're just tying it into destiny is just predetermined and in us no matter what we do?
Yeah.
But with that aside, because a lot of movies have beaten that in the ground before, she gets an MIB. And of course, they spot her right off the bat. The talking pug comes back.
Frank the Pug.
Oh, Frank, one of my favorite characters.
He's got one line.
Because
they made someone else into Frank the Pug, essentially. Frank the Pug's spot got usurped.
Yep. And he has one line going, amateur hour.
Yeah.
And they catch her. Of course they fucking do. You're not one of them. They know this.
Yeah, I mean, shit, they monitor aliens. Like,
yeah.
You would hope that they could find the
Humans
person.
Humans are much easier to monitor.
Oh, no, but she's wearing a suit. She's got to be one of us.
And they catch her, and she goes to the holding room to be questioned. And for some godforsaken reason, they don't just neuralize her right off the bat.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we gotta talk to her to figure it out.
They think she's a double agent at first, but when they realize there's no affiliation with anybody else, they don't just neuralize her. And also, she shows the weakness in the neuralizers. Look away.
Yeah, well, she knows all about them. And
that's fair.
She did see her parents get zapped, and so she's like, oh, I get this. And in some ways, it sort of to me, it shows that she should. Just like Will Smith's character it was recruited in the same way, and they even allude to it in the movie. Agent O, I guess she's not high O, she's just O. But they even talk about it like, well, this is how we used to recruit people. Which I am really curious. What is the recruiting procedure now.
Yeah.
If it's not just like getting the people that could figure you out and put all the pieces together.
Fair enough. And I do agree. I feel like it was a very good nod, but at the same time, they're playing the cliche a little too strong. And they do it for so much longer. When Will Smith comes into MIB, he does just act like himself the entire time, but she full on just knows what she's doing.
Yeah, well, like Will Smith grabs the table and moves it all and all the way over and stuff, and he Will Smith,
and he shoots the aliens in the face in the training phase and leaves no, he doesn't shoot the aliens. He shoots the little girl with the fucking physics books because she's obviously making bombs. And that's
she's in the middle of the street by some little white girl in town with all those books. Are you kidding me? That chick.
And that was brilliant. And they don't give her that sort of moment at all. Like throughout the entire movie, she doesn't get that sort of moment.
We're supposed to just kind of assume it's already there, I think. It's sort of like Chris Hemsworth's background, Agent H's background in all of this. It's like, well, he's awesome because he's awesome. Like,
yeah, and I guess that's the issue I have. They want us to assume that these characters are just who they are naturally, but we watched through the first two movies that Will Smith's character fought to be that good and continuously fucked up to be that good.
Yeah. He really went through a lot of work to get there.
But and the failures we do see in this one are ones that nobody could have controlled anyways.
Yeah.
These characters could not have handled these failures any better because the movie was written against them, literally. But we get past all of this, she gets accepted into MIB as an agent.
Montage.
Yes, a montage of dressing up and watching her look at the camera 15 different times from 5 different angles.
I mean, she's cute.
Yeah, and the suit looks real nice. And the fact that they do show the old version of the handgun.
What was it called? Like a cricket or something?
No, that wasn't the cricket. That was the handgun that Will Smith always had. But he always had the cricket in his boot.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have backup.
Yeah, of course. But then they show the new gun, and the new gun looks good. In my opinion, I think all the new guns look really good for what they're supposed to be.
I think they found it in a toy aisle at Toys R Us.
Honestly,
probably in discount.
Probably a dollar store gun that they went, we could turn this into a really cool looking gun, and just did it.
Shiny plastic.
Did great.
Yeah, it looked fine. Just don't look at it too closely.
Yeah, don't stare at it too closely. You'll start to see the Dollar General logo on the side of it. But they get through the montage, and she looks like a badass. And we see when they bring up her scores during this montage that she has like a 95 at least on everything.
Yeah, she's amazing.
But we don't know how she knows all these alien languages, or how they're testing her for one, or
Rosetta Stone is like really good, man.
Rosetta Stone, extraterrestrial edition.
Yeah, shit, why not?
Must have paid out the ass for that one. But
I don't know. I think is it a subscription? I don't even
know.
Oh
man, I don't know. I haven't used Rosetta Stone in a few years.
Okay, I never did. I know English, and that's it.
But they go through all this, and her first assignment is to go to London. And the train transformation. I want to give some really big props to the VFX department. They did really good with what they had. And they used the cinematography and the setups to mash together those two sets in one clean sequence very well.
Yeah, it looked really pretty.
It worked to their advantage, and I got to applaud them on it. And I don't feel like VFX companies get enough credit for when they do smooth transitions like that, because, that was really smooth. You can't see a cut. You don't see any issues with it. It looks like it's happening. And again, all the VFX in this movie is really good. I couldn't see anything apparently wrong on first viewing, and we just got back from watching this movie the first time, both of us, and...
Yeah, they haven't neuralized us yet.
Oh my god, I wish they would. This movie just needs to not be in my brain anymore.
But we're keeping it there, just so that we can bring this podcast to you.
Just for you guys, just for the fans. So we get through all of this. Does a really cool montage.
Off to London.
Off to London, yes. And in London, we meet Agent H.
Oh, Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, Chris Hemsworth, which he shines in this role. Him as an
really
actor, just brilliant for this type of role. They need to cast him more comedies.
Yeah, well, I mean, as we were discussing right after the movie, Chris Hemsworth really shined. We believe that, like, Hemsworth was kind of miscast almost in the first two Thor movies, and then in Black Hat and in The Heart of the Sea, were the other main roles that he's taken, and they were just not that good. And Ragnarok really showed him in a different light. This movie, besides also casting Tessa Thompson, this Men in Black really tried to capture what they found in Ragnarok, and this first scene with Hemsworth really showed up, where his sort of improv, the fight scene, and he starts. You see it a bit in the commercials. It's the club fight, and you got any problems with the club fight?
No, as much as I want to be like, this seems really dumb, I really liked how they did it. I liked the fight choreography. I thought it was really well done, and it played into his strengths very well without making them use too much CG and stunt doubling to make it look good.
Yeah, the one alien that was in there, or actually I guess there was two, but they almost could have got away with prosthetics.
Yeah.
I think there's obvious some CGI going on there, but it could have looked like a Star Wars. They could have looked like they're in the Star Wars cantina.
Yeah, the fight scene was done really well. I feel like the CG there was pretty good. They used it very sparingly during the fight scene, pretty much just as touch-up work, and then the snake, of course.
The snake was kind of fun. The snake, they did a play on a card game. Well, I guess it's sort of Middle Eastern stuff with the cobra type snake thing. Grab the card out of the cage don't get bit by the really poisonous snake. It's like a Middle Eastern form of Russian roulette.
Pretty much. It seems like Russian roulette mixed with poker. You're trying to get the best card value you can from what you can see in the pot. That's what it looked like.
Did he get a royal flush?
Yeah, he got a royal straight flush, I want to say.
Yeah, well, yeah. And so, that's pretty awesome. So then fight happens between, because they're like, hey, man, you're Men in Black. And he's like, nah.
Nah, fuck off. Nah, those guys are dickheads. Nah.
And they're like, nah, you're totally Men in Black. And then, boom, they start all fighting. And Hemsworth shows off his moves and ends up getting bit by a snake. But the alien club owner gets bit in the face with a snake. And his girlfriend, standing there, she's like, she's got the antidote. There's one antidote.
Yeah, for some fucking reason, there's only one vial of antidote. There's only one. But yeah. That leads into
and then he's like, I'll do anything for that antidote. And she's like, anything? He's like, anything.
And you instantly know what they mean. Just right off the bat.
I was really hoping that's not what they meant.
No, that's exactly what they meant.
I mean, when it's like, yeah, well, I guess Chris Hemsworth.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
Yeah. Quick cut to the bedroom.
Next morning.
Thank God. Hemsworth, we've already got past all the action scenes.
Yeah, we got the cut to black, thank Christ.
Hemsworth laying there. He's got a couple new hickeys.
Oh my God, so they did really well with the sound design here, because when he pulls it up, you hear the suction, and it just sounds so wrong, but so good. And the effects were great there too.
Yeah, she's got an octopus
it's like an
arm.
Octopus tentacle, yeah.
And so he's got a couple new hickeys on his belly.
That's a great scene, and he, of course, like a true bachelor, gets dressed and gets the fuck out of there as quickly as he can without disturbing anybody.
He pieces out before this goes any further.
And then cut to him entering MIB headquarters after cutting off a bicyclist like a total dickbag.
Yeah. And, he takes the, let's see, does he take, he goes and meets up with Agent M then. Is that right?
No, I think they cut straight into the conference scene with High T.
High T. Agent High T, Liam Neeson.
And Agent C and a bunch of lackeys.
Yeah, and a bunch of other people that don't matter, like paper pushers.
Stuff. And they're talking about a recent, or rather a developing mission with another alien race kind of having an ambassador of sorts come over. He's part of the royal family of a different alien race. And they're talking about how they have to keep him entertained for a night for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So right before this, we actually get the Wonder Twins showing up in Marrakesh.
Oh, yeah. I did skip that. I apologize.
Yeah. So we get a real quick shot of our antagonists, two of our antagonists, people that we think that are kind of antagonists. They are the Wonder Twins, as we're calling them, or the Doublemint Twins, whichever you prefer. And they can do stuff.
They do really stupid physics stuff, and my science brain tells me I really want to rip this apart, but the fact that they're very well designed, well done characters and effects
wise, yeah.
I really don't want to think too hard about it.
Yeah, well, they don't let you think too hard about it because they have nothing to say.
They don't say a fucking thing till it doesn't matter anymore, and they pretty much just show up to kick ass and show up their badasses. That's their entire goal of this munchkin is to act like they're the big bads.
But they first show up to seek out the queen of what I call the Munchkin Land. They keep showing up at Munchkin Land and just to get the thing, get the stuff. Isn't that where they get the poison? I think they get the poison.
I'm pretty sure that's where they show them getting the poison. They kill the entire army, the pawns and the royalty
of a couple inch tall.
Yes, the pawns and pawnee, and they kill them all and then take the poison and kill the shopkeep on their way out, who's acting as a front for them.
Because why not? I mean,
because at that point you have to kill all eyewitnesses,
except that they failed.
Yeah. I mean, they don't know that yet. And they leave with apparently the most toxic poison in the world for some fucking reason.
You get it at this one store.
This one place. It's only done in one place.
By the Munchkin people.
By the Munchkin people who follow the Yellow Brick Road, yes.
Uh-huh.
And
so then we go to the meeting, which is almost like a Senate hearing.
Yeah, it pretty much is a Senate hearing of, oh, look who decided to show up. Agent H, thank you for gracing us with your presence.
Of course, man. I was getting sucked.
Oh, I was getting suctioned. I was in a real sticky situation. So they do their thing and talk about how this ambassador, part of the royal family, is coming over, and how Agent H has been specially requested because he knows this person.
Vungus.
Is his name Vungus? Is that
Vungus? That's what I wrote down.
Yeah, Vungus.
He's a Jababian royal.
Jabarian Royal, yeah. Jabarian Royal. Fungus.
Yeah, and so they're supposed to chaperone him and have let him have a good time.
Yeah, they're supposed to show him a really good time today.
Out clubbing.
And, of course, Agent H knows exactly how to do that, because he's partied with him before, apparently.
It's Chris Hemsworth.
And
if the dude can't party,
what can he do?
For?
They let Agent H go after this. Agent C shows a bit of tension here, very much opposed to Agent H doing anything.
He's by the book.
Yeah, very by the book. He's the glasses pushed up on the nose kind of guy.
He should probably be up with accounting.
Yes, he should be up with accounting with how fucking anal he is about everything. But he kind of gives Agent H a hard time, and then it's overruled by High T.
Because, it's High T.
Because Agent H and High T have a father-son relationship behind closed doors. It's a role-playing thing.
They did. And they do it with their Series 7 atomizers.
And their wits.
Just keep your wits.
Their wits and their Series 70 atomizers. That line.
Whatever they do behind closed doors is none of my business. That was off camera.
That was in Paris. That's what we didn't get to see.
Whatever happens in Paris, man.
So they
Only one of them remembered.
Oh yeah, only one. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, only one of them remembered that night. The meeting gets very quickly and abruptly adjourned, and Agent H then goes to take a power nap while Agent M is just arriving in London. And we get a pretty cool sequence of watching her walk around the London facility, seeing a bunch of different aliens that we haven't seen before. Some old faces show up.
The group of little skinny dudes.
Yeah, the group of skinny dudes who love giving Will Smith a hard time.
Yeah.
They show up very briefly and make a few jokes. But I don't want to dwell on this part too much, because overall it does nothing but set dressing for us.
Yeah, it's just it's not quite a montage, but it's almost just...
It's world building.
Yeah, sure.
They're just trying to show us more of what's going on. It's a bigger world.
It's the Star Wars cantina scene.
Yeah, exactly. It's just there for context's sake, almost. And she gets to where she's supposed to go, does her orientation, meets up with whoever she's supposed to meet up with, somehow finds this weird four-eyed alien dude who knows a shit ton of stuff.
The four-eyed alien guy wears glasses. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, four fucking...
It's a little on the nose.
A little, yeah, and he's a fucking nerd, too, and he's apparently like a third-generation immigrant.
Yeah, I mean, just because you wear glasses...
It was fucking adorable. He's a great character. I love the 5 lines he has, but that's all he has, and I'm kind of upset by that.
Oh, but don't we see, actually, before we see Chris Hemsworth walk in to the place, and there's an alien who
apparently has time powers.
Yeah, that's pretty trippy.
She kind of slows down the moment, seeing the hot bod Chris Hemsworth, and then speeds it up, then slows it down, speeds it up, slows it down.
They play it up a little bit. Hey, how would you feel if we did that too? I'm just saying. Saying.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hot take.
So,
but
sorry.
I
just want some equality in my movies.
Don't we all? But as the scene progresses, Agent M and Hemsworth have some more interactions. She basically lies to his face about knowing all this stuff about an alien race she's apparently never heard of, and gets on the job. Because,
her whole life has been identifying lies, but then also kind of...
making them, yeah. She's been making her own cover story this entire time. No wonder they thought she was a double agent. And the minute he found out she was lying, I'm really surprised he didn't call her in, but it's the entire rogue character, I guess.
They're a lot more fun than Pencil Pusher,
Oh yeah,
especially by the book. He's sitting
Agent
there.
C.
He's got his pocket rule book.
Yeah, dude, and it's Appendix 3, which he has in his back pocket. But during all of this, we get a little scene where High T gives what's her name Agent M a watch.
Yeah,
which apparently comes into play later.
Well, it's just a nice memento.
Yeah, it's a very nice memento. Oh, it's not a watch; it's a compass. And it always points west for some reason. It doesn't point north, it points west. And they focus on it for way too long and then don't do anything with it. And then...
a broken-ass compass?
Yeah, a broken-ass compass that's from Men in Black headquarters, and it's shiny and new from their highest commander. Of course, there's no foreshadowing here.
No, it's totally legit.
And then we get off to the club scene.
Yeah. We meet up with Vungus, and we're hanging out, seeing all the... I mean, shit, why not go clubbing?
Yeah,
that place looked banging.
The club scene was awesome. I loved the music there. I'm a little biased. I love my electronic music, but it was very well done. I liked it.
Yeah, no, I kind of would have liked to have seen more of that, actually.
Yeah. I actually would have liked to see more of Fungus as a character, because he is an interesting character who actually has some personality.
Yeah.
But we sadly get very little of him, and the entire time you see him on screen, he's trying to get information to Agent H, who he doesn't trust after he touches him, because we learn these guys are extremely empathic.
He's got touchy powers.
He's Mantis. Except he also reads minds while he touches you, so don't have sex with him. That is a bad idea.
Oh, that would be weird.
That would be very weird. But he touches Agent H and instantly knows something's wrong. So he diverts his attention back to the hot and sexy Agent M, who he's been hitting up since he got there. And goes, something is wrong with H. I cannot trust him. And Agent
which is
M
weird.
doesn't understand why. Agent M's a rookie. She's a probationary officer at this point.
She's new blood, so she hasn't been corrupted yet.
And she's so confused. But
I mean, well, it does seem as if, I mean, Agent H probably has something, you know, like, he's probably a little corrupted.
yeah, I mean, especially after
Sleeping
all
with
of those
aliens
issues.
and stuff.
He's lost the rule book. He doesn't have his pocket rule book anymore, or the Appendix 3.
Or condoms, probably.
Or oh, the space gonorrhea. Mm.
I mean, he's been corrupted, you know what I mean?
But they pass this note along that he does not trust H for some reason. Again, trying to sow seeds of disbelief in the audience, not so much in the characters, because the characters don't seem to give a flying fuck about any of this yet.
Yeah, H is completely, he doesn't understand anything that's happening.
He just wants to drink, party, and have fun with his old friend, apparently, who he gives so much of a care about.
Yeah,
and then the Wonder Twins enter.
Oh, they are good dancers.
Yeah, they get really awkward and twitchy when they're starting to learn the dances, but as soon as they get it down pat, goddamn, this man is a riot.
It would have been... Okay, so it's just like one guy dancing and the other guy staring weirdly.
He was
behind
keeping
him.
track of the mark, and I didn't like that. That was really, really heavy foreshadowing and kind of in your face.
Do you think they should have both been dancing?
Yes.
Or maybe they have like, I mean, as much as maybe it sounds kind of stupid, but like a dance-off or something with Agent H and one of those guys.
But they kind of did the similar thing in the second movie where they had a bunch of aliens beatbox at each other, and then Will Smith's beatbox back. It's like, no, we want to show these characters have character, but we don't get a chance. Like, it feels like the supposed antagonists almost have more character at this point than our protagonists do, because we simply don't get a lot of personality.
Yeah.
Other than Agent H, who we watch have sex with a tentacle alien.
They're kind of easy cutouts at this point.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of depth there.
You can already see the buddy cop cliches lining themselves up. And of course they do, because these aliens then use a special poison homing dart thing that like Yondu.
That thing's crazy, yeah. The Yondu that thing.
Fucking Psycho stabs him in the neck with the poison, and he goes down not feeling too good, so they immediately get him outside to his car.
Because they think he's drunk.
Yeah, because for some reason, he hasn't had a single drink yet that we've seen. We think he's drunk, so we're going to take him out to his car.
Yeah.
Gets in his car, and at this point, I don't know if Justin could see my eyes rolling. I think he was writing notes, but oh my fucking god, I just face-palmed so hard at this point, because you watch him start to drive down the road, and every time you see that sort of scene, you know what's about to happen.
Yeah. And explosions.
An explosion happens, the car gets thrown into the air, hits a building, looks badass.
Yeah, and then ends up just like sitting in the building.
Yeah, for some reason it's embedded in the building and stays there. By the way, I want to know how much they paid to get this car put in the movie, because you see it for way too long for it to just be a one-off thing.
Yeah.
So of course we have him in the cab, or in the car, and he's dying, and then we see the Wonder Twins again, and they are smooth grooving onto the scene.
Yeah.
And then they start having their buddy cop moment.
Which is that car. I mean, what isn't a gun on it?
Yeah, what the fuck isn't a gun on that car? Because they pull the hubcap off, they pull the tailpipe out.
Yeah, and then the other tailpipe as well. I guess there's two tailpipes because they take out both sides.
They take out both.
The mirror, the hubcap.
The back panel flips up to have more guns and gun components.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what part is an actual car and what parts are guns?
Or in this case, should we be asking, why do we care? Because we're kind of reading a little too much into this when we should be focusing on the fact that not a damn thing they're doing is affecting the enemies. Like, they do...
That's true. They blast the shit out of them.
Yeah, they
doesn't matter.
shoot so many bullets, and none of it matters.
And
it's very futile effort.
And so they go back for bigger guns.
And they keep going back for bigger guns.
And
it feels like that meme where... we want you to give up all your weapons, so they pull off their weapon bandoliers and their ammo and all that. All of them pulls out a pocket pistol. All of them pulls out the little granny pistol in the boot.
Yeah.
It's just like that kind of trope, but in reverse.
Well, I mean, these guys, the Wonder Twins just couldn't couldn't do anything to them. They were just too powerful, but they were also kind of weak in their own right, in that they didn't do much in return.
So my feeling about this kind of changed by the end of the movie, because in the beginning I was like, they should have just outright killed them. We saw them just fucking materialize metal, shape metal with their minds to throw projectiles. We saw them do this in the scene. Why didn't they just kill Agent M and Agent H? But later on in the movie, we find out what their actual objective is. It makes sense that their job here isn't to kill MIB at this point in time. They just want the secret package that's just about to be handed off to Agent M.
Yeah, because we believe that they are part of the guys that showed up at the very beginning of the movie, the enemies there, this group called the Hive.
Yeah, it's
and they're something.
It's the fucking Reapers from Mass Effect.
Okay.
Oh, have you not played Mass Effect?
Oh no, I've played Mass Effect.
Okay, but do you see the?
I'm not sure all of our listeners know what Mass Effect is.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry. I'm not playing to our audience here. It's very big, scary tentacle monster guys.
That explains it.
Yeah, that's about all we know about them either. Don't worry.
And they're very, very simple cutouts, essentially.
Yeah.
Big, scary thing that you never really see. And but these guys, we believe that their planet had been taken over by the Hive, and so we think that they are trying to retrieve this thing, the MacGuffin.
Yeah, the MacGuffin.
For the Hive. And the Hive is big, scary, can't let them get the bad stuff. So, it's, they're the antagonists at this point. It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
The rest of Men in Black show up as our guy Vungus passes away.
And passes on the information to Agent M.
Yes. He touches her with his feely stuff and says, "Hey, I can trust you with the thing." And so he gives her this little cubey looking
It's
thing.
A very geometric pyramid triangle-esque object that is trying way too hard to look edgier than a teen in a Hot Topic shop.
Yeah. Yes. And so she then gets the thing because, again, Agent H cannot be trusted. And so Vungus dies, and then we go back to the office with Agent H and High T and everybody, and we have a chewing out session.
Yeah, very, very brutal chewing out session, both on scene and back at headquarters by Agent C, who's just pissed off at
because
Agent
he didn't
H.
follow the rules.
He didn't follow the rules. He fucked up the entire mission and got a very high up royal ambassador killed.
Yeah, so now Earth's gonna die because that's how this works.
Yeah, and we get into the, oh shit, this happened, and the, I don't want to call him the second MacGuffin, but he kind of is, High T, kind of steps in and goes, but wait, no, we can't just neuralize them both. Because that's the first instinct of C is instant termination, neuralization, and kick them out. Mm-hmm. And High T stops him and goes, give us a reason. And M gets very, very tricky here and kind of blows smoke up of all their asses while being right.
Well, they kind of alluded to that there might be some corruption somewhere.
Yes, they gave her the information to, the best way to lie is to not tell a lie.
Yeah. And so she says, hey, you can't do that because, I got some information. You can't neuralize us. Otherwise you all lose the information. That's no good.
We don't know who the mole is.
And got to find the mole.
The mole, and she brings up a good point. How many people knew about this royal ambassador coming in? And they go, us in this room, and about 12 other officers.
Yeah.
Which is very small, considering how big MIB has shown to be. We've seen them in every major city we've gone to.
I'm actually really curious how the naming of all the agents go, because, there's only
26 letters in the English alphabet, yeah.
And so then I guess you have high T as well, so you might have high 26 letters, and then maybe low 26 letters, And do they put numbers in there? Or
I also imagine there's a lot of duplicates. I imagine that is part of the anonymity.
I don't know.
It's part of keeping them secret. There's a word there I'm looking for, and I can't remember it. But it's part of
anonymity of
thank
the...
you.
Yeah, that's the word.
Because then all you see is Agent
anonymous.
M in this city doing this mission, but Agent M in this city at the same time did this mission. It kind of adds another layer of, if somebody were to intrude their systems, you kind of can't tell who is who because a bunch of different people are running under the same names.
Yeah. Well, Agent H, he reveals his name later on to be Henry.
Yeah.
And then Agent M is Molly. And so...
And Steve.
And then Steve. Steve is Pawnee. The Munchkin.
He was just feeling left out.
But it's like, how do they come up with the names? Oh, they just take the first letter of your first name, and that's your new agent name.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't they do that for Will Smith, too?
Yeah, they did that for Will Smith, and Kay, his real name was Carl when he worked for the Postal Service.
Yeah,
but
this is getting a little too simple.
It is, but I think that's part of the beauty of Men in Black, is that it is supposed to be simple.
Hey, we're Earth. We're not all that advanced.
We're not the center of the universe anymore.
Oh.
So we move on with this. Somehow Agent H and M, through the masterful deception / half-truths they tell from what they know, get themselves out of the situation of just being instantly terminated to further pursue this. And Agent H just straight up steals something from an active investigation that he's technically not a part of.
Yeah, he's off the case now.
Yeah, he got told to be off the case, but he just straight up lies to Agent C's face, and that's good.
And Agent C buys it.
He buys it and just kind of gets really grumpy about it. But that's where they kind of sow the second...
act?
Yeah, the second act of the movie kind of starts there, because now you think that Agent C's the mole due to his next few actions.
It's in my notes.
Yeah, it's in...
Agent C is the corrupt one? Oh my god.
But for me, that never clicked. I never saw Agent C as the bad one. I don't know why that didn't click for me.
Because he's too anal.
Yeah, to me it just doesn't... It feels like, honestly, in the moment when they were showing me this, I was like, no, they're trying way too hard to push blame onto him. It can't be him.
Yeah.
It has to either be H or High T. In the entire movie, I was dead set on it being H.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they were going to pull that, because that would have been a great twist. When do you expect the main character to be also the main villain?
Yeah, instead they just made him we'll get to that.
Yeah, the third MacGuffin. He is the third MacGuffin here.
We got living MacGuffins.
Yeah. So they move on from this, and he goes, I know the one place this is made. And they get into their supercar because their old car was destroyed in the fight.
Well, first they try to go and steal the cube back, don't they? Or is that later on?
That's later on.
Oh,
because we don't know, because they don't know about the cube yet.
Yeah, they don't know that it's been
just
stolen.
M knows it's there.
Yeah.
M hasn't even revealed it to H yet. H doesn't get it until a little bit later.
That's right. Yeah. They steal it there. So off to Marrakesh.
Marrakesh, yeah.
And where the Mushroom Kingdom is, the Munchkin Land, that's where they are. And they meet up with this dude an alien guy who's working on a bike.
Yeah, with an alien beard.
He's got an alien beard.
Who talks so much shit.
Oh, God, that thing. And then he slapped it. I call it beard slapping.
Yeah, he beard slaps to get the guy to shut up.
He needs a beard. That dude needs a beard. He's got no chin.
His chin's too weak. He needs a beard.
Man. I hope that guy got his face like CGI'd because if that's his real face.
This poor man. He needs a beard too.
It's like his only good thing in his whole life is that he's got no chin. And man, that's rough.
Man, chin transplants next year.
Yeah. They're doing great things with plastic surgery nowadays.
So yeah, they get to the land where only this one place the poison can be made.
Yeah, because for some reason it's proprietary.
Yeah,
secrets.
It's proprietary to the Munchkins.
Yeah.
They need some way to even the playing fields for themselves.
Yeah.
Have the best poison in the world.
And so you get the little green guy wearing We can just, I mean, I kind of want to just call him Stuber as well.
Stuber. Marvin the Martian. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so a movie's coming out called Stuber. This is the guy that plays that. Same dude.
Oh, okay.
And the voice is just, it's him. It's that guy. He's an Indian, the guy that plays an Indian dude, but he has the voice because, they're in Marrakesh, of course. They can't give him, like, an Irish accent. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he's the only living member of the chess set.
People, yeah. And he does this overly dramatic and brilliantly done scene of him thinking about how he's going to kill himself because he doesn't have anything to live for anymore with his queen dead.
I don't think he really wanted to kill himself. I mean, he wasn't really going for it.
He just kept being like, talk me out of it, talk me out of it. I'm like, honor bound, talk me out of it, talk me out of it. He's giving me the same hints that Justin gives me in the middle of these podcast recordings. And eventually we get to the point of Agent M stepping up to be his queen, even though she totally didn't want that, but he'd already sworn his honor.
I mean, in the way that women are all queens.
Oh, yeah. I really liked that line. That was pretty much the most clever line they had so far in the movie.
It worked.
And, of course, he betroths himself to be her pawn, and that doesn't feel like friend zone at all. You didn't think about that, did you?
No.
Yeah.
But man, little guy, too bad.
He moves on, and I don't remember how they get to where they're supposed to get from here. I don't know the transition here.
Men in Black, they're, so Agent H,
Agent
C. Agent C's running surveillance, finding these guys. High T calls them up and says
the box.
Yeah, and they see the little box back when the alien gave it to Agent M, and then he's like, oh my god, okay, so they have the MacGuffin, so now we have to find them. Well, they pieced out to Marrakesh, and then Agent High T calls them up and says, hey guys, it's cool, you got some folks coming for you, other agents coming for you, so like run, but come back to me because I'm cool.
And right here is where it got solidified in my mind that Agent T was absolutely the bad guy.
High T.
Yeah,
it was kind of too easy to figure out at that point.
It was way too easy to go, why would he tell them to come back?
And not tell anyone, it's totally a secret, and I'm on your side, kid.
Yeah, no, that's total double-crossing bad guy behavior, and from there on I kind of just let that part of the story fall out of my head.
Yeah.
Because at that point I knew roundaboutly how this movie was going to end, and decided I would try not to ruin the movie for myself any further. Because at this point, I turned to Justin for the first time and said, fuck this movie, I want to leave.
Yeah, because I drove and he couldn't leave.
Yeah, and I couldn't fucking go anywhere. I'd have to call an Uber, and I'm too poor for that. Support us on Patreon.
So Agent H and Agent M... Agent H pickpockets Agent M and finds the cube, and he's like, why do you have this? And she's all like, well, dude gave it to me. And he's like, why would he do that? Because we're boys. And she's like, well, he didn't trust you. And he's like, what? Why didn't he trust me?
But we're boys. I was at his mom's funeral.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
I sung really great. And did he say what song he sung? Or he just sang?
I don't remember what song it was, but yeah.
That's
a damn shame.
I mean, that should be in the extras or something.
It should be. When this gets released on DVD and I burn every copy that gets bought in for me.
And so then they split up because H says, I'm going to draw him off. And then Agent M goes the other direction. And
see the Wonder Twins on the roof.
Yep. And so they start to pursue Agent M down an alleyway, and then she just kind of runs away and doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, and she just kind of starts running because, well, she doesn't have any of her guns on her anymore, and she knows they don't work on them anyways, so at this point she's just trying to run for her life.
Because they're pretty badass.
Meanwhile, Agent H is running from the MIB response team.
But he goes to what we set up a little bit before that.
And gets the bike.
Bike.
The beard man without a chin is working on.
Which, I mean, he's like, hey, you know what? It's really hot out there. Stay hydrated.
Take this water bottle. Meanwhile, when he says that, he doesn't have his neck beard, and instantly my mind went, that's not right. That's not right at all.
I mean, what happened to your beard? You get the. I mean, maybe you're having a fight with your beard. You just slapped it, and maybe it's pouting somewhere. What happened to your beard?
And he hands him the water bottle, and they go. And that scene didn't sit right with me, and later on it made sense.
So Agent H heroically comes in right through one of the Wonder Twins, blasts right through him on the bike. And Space Bike, it's a hover bike.
It's a hover bike with a flight-ish mode. It's more like a super ramp-up mode, because it doesn't really fly.
It's got a red button.
It's also got a red button, which they, thank God, press at one point, because if there's a red button on something, you have to fucking press it.
Of course. And it says, even if it says don't push. I mean,
yes, then you always have to push it. And that's why I'm not allowed in government bases anymore.
Uh-oh. We'll get that taken care of.
Eventually.
Yeah,
Neuralize a couple more government officials.
Yeah. And so we get Agent H and Agent M on the same bike, and Stuber, the little guy, was there, and he's like going for the ride as well because he pledged his life.
Yeah,
now.
He pledged his life and his honor on his queen.
On his queen, and so we get these three on the bike together, and they press the red button because they don't really know what it does, but they hope it works out just fine. And they run away from the Wonder Twins. They run away from the MIB guys, and they end up in the what is it? The dead quarter or the empty part of Saudi Peninsula.
It's the giant desert in between all of the different countries that I can't fucking remember.
Yeah.
But they call it like the dead corner or something like that because there's literally nothing there.
Yeah, it's the middle of the Saudi Peninsula.
And they crash land, and the bike seems like it's dead.
Oops.
And they decide to open up the box for the first time, and we see...
Because it's rattling around there on the ground
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
We assume the rough landing probably messed up a little bit.
Yeah, and so then they open it up, and they start talking science.
And yeah, they bring up the fact that it is a scaled-down blue giant star within this gun, and my science brain immediately went, oh, so the entire Earth and everything in the next two systems are fucking dead.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's sort of like having Orion, the galaxy on Orion's belt from the first one.
Yeah, it's exactly that, except worse.
Yeah, except this thing's in a gun, and so then they...
shoot it at point... at
0.001%
power, and they fucking create another Grand Canyon.
Oh, we have the best line of all in this movie after they crash land into the desert. Classic Star Wars line.
Oh my god, I made this joke. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all the audio listeners who just listen to this on headphones. I just had a realization. So, when they crash landed, I looked over at Justin, leaned in real close, and went, I hate sand. And we both kind of laughed. And then not 5 seconds later, she fucking says it. Agent M goes, man, I hate sand.
Yeah.
And me and him just look at each other and shake our heads.
It's
It
kind of...
was too easy.
Yeah.
But it was good. I will give them credit for doing that.
I mean,
because
who
it was
really
good.
likes sand? I don't know anybody
Not
that
a
likes
guy
sand.
who kills a bunch of kids. Apparently.
Yeah, oh god. I mean, it gets all in his mechanical parts and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they're messing around with the cube. We find out is a weaponized star, and they set it to .001 weapon output damage.
Yeah, because for some reason this thing has a variable output, and they know how to operate it perfectly.
Dude, it's touchscreen. It's super easy.
Just like the last movie, touch screens are not...
Everyone knows how to use these things.
Yeah, okay.
You just play around with it.
Eventually it'll work.
Whatever, yeah. And so it does like a little poof thing, and then they're like, oh, we'll turn it up. And I don't even think they pulled the trigger a second time.
They didn't even touch it again. And
it just has a really slow build-up, which, I mean, you really wouldn't want to, in a firefight.
Not in a weapon, no.
Okay.
And, of course, later it doesn't have that build-up.
Yeah, it's true. It just happens.
But yeah, they shoot and create another Grand Canyon in the middle of the desert, and nobody notices because it's the dead quarter.
An empty quarter, I think is what it's called.
Something
like
it was
that.
something stupid. And
Whatever.
Of course, it's probably
big...
real, to be honest. But
no, it's real. I know that much. I just forget the name of it. And so then they're like, oh, well, snaps. Okay, we have this thing, and but somehow they find some fire or something to burn out there.
Wood in the middle of the fucking desert
because the bike is trashed and probably full of sand. And and so they start doing some. Luckily, they brought a toolkit or whatever because they can fix it. And so they start working on it, but it's lover spat.
There's marital issues here. Agent M is talking through the child of Pawnee, and Agent H is being a snarky little dickbag about it. It's kind of amazing.
But Pawnee's chosen sides.
Oh yeah, and Pawnee is brilliant here because he's just ultimate sass.
Yeah. And I mean, when you're like 3 inches tall,
that's all you got. That's all you got. Ultimate sass and the best poison in the universe. That is your claim to fame.
Yeah, and it works.
It works very well for him.
They get the bike going though, and rev it up.
Yeah.
But right before that,
the fucking water bottle opens up and Beard Dude pops out with 2 guns.
Oh god, Beard Guy. And the water tasted terrible.
Yeah, they apparently drank that water and...
with the dude's beard in it.
Yeah, with the dude's beard alien in it. And she's like, oh, I knew it tastes like dirty beard. And into that moment, I looked over at Justin, and I don't think he heard me, but I went, how does she know what dirty beard tastes like?
That's a good question. I mean, maybe just... I have a pretty good imagination. I can probably figure it out.
But he then yoinks out of there with his new box of doom, and he says he's going to sell it to RZA, who is...
not from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, not RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan, unfortunately. That would have been a much better movie.
Actually, I think it would have been pretty cool.
If RZA's just sitting on the island, like... for the clan, yo, and he just pulls out the ultimate weapon.
I mean, we get a little montage of 3 other people that are aliens in our world. I mean, Ariana Grande and
Elon Musk,
and probably the best of us all in the whole world.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, Donald Glover himself.
Childish Gambino himself.
Yeah, that dude's awesome.
I just fucking love him.
He's good music. Good actor.
Music, great actor, great person.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's got to be an alien.
Yeah, he has to be. He's the best of us.
But so would RZA. And so is RZA, because that's her actual name.
Yeah, and RZA now has the ultimate weapon of ultimate doom on her fortified fortress of foreshore death. Is that what Pawnee called it?
Yeah. And it even got the little subtitle headline.
Oh, yeah, it got the subtitle headline under it, and it was fucking adorable.
Yeah, because, that's where you want to go.
Yeah.
So RZA's this terrible, horrible arms dealer. Also, right on the nose, she's got 3 arms.
She's got 3 arms, and one of them just stays kind of hidden, tucked behind the back of her neck.
Arms dealer, selling arms, 3 arms.
She's got 3 arms, and we watch Agent H kind of roll up in a speedboat that we don't know how he got. He also did a wardrobe change. We don't know how he did any of these things.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we don't know how they wardrobe changed or got the boat, but they got the boat and went.
Sure.
And they end up...
I mean, they had a bike, so I guess they...
Fair enough.
They rented a boat or something.
And they end up on the island, and Agent H does a cover story, basically, saying
the island is in Naples.
Oh, yeah, it is in Naples.
So they just took a little quick...
jaunt.
A hop, skip, and a jump across the Mediterranean Sea.
To Naples. And he goes through this area with a bunch of henchmen. And we see a big hulking blue dude.
Well, but RZA and our Agent H, they have a history.
They do have a history. They do talk about this earlier in the movie as kind of a one-off bit.
Yeah.
But it was extreme foreshadowing.
Oh, man. So these two have, because it's Chris Hemsworth. Like, he is...
sexiest man alive.
Sexiest man on Earth. Apparently, he's also the sexiest man in, like, multiple solar systems.
Yeah. Well, we've seen what the other aliens look like. Do they have competition on Earth? No.
I would think not, no.
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 Humans are just the prettiest things to exist in the universe. So the universe does in fact revolve around us. Let's go back to the 1800s.
Hey! And so Riza and Agent H have this history of, and, I mean, what is it like to be with a 3-armed chick? I don't know. We'll see.
I don't want to make the joke, so let's just move on.
All right. and so, she's a scary arms dealer, and she's got a henchie, and henchie is all grown up.
A big blue-looking dude who oddly looks like Stitch from earlier in the movie.
Uh-oh. Stitch eats good.
Yeah, man, he eats better than I do.
He got real big.
He got his Wheaties.
And they foreshadowed a little bit at the very beginning that he, if they don't catch him, that he turns into a big, mean monster-looking guy. Things. And yeah, now he looks like a big, mean Stitch. And he's the main henchie for Riza, and let's see, what did they? Hemsworth gets in there, Agent H, he gets in there, and he starts talking, starts working it out. He gives Pawnee as a little peace offering to Riza to try and win her over and some trust, and she's like, "Oh, thanks for the little guy, but peace out."
You shouldn't have given me the peace offering on the same day that I have the most powerful weapon in the universe.
Yeah, which hint. And it's like, oh, well, I mean, did she? She didn't even need to say that, but we knew she had it.
Yeah,
because,
we all knew she had it, but she wanted to rub it in his face before he got killed.
Yeah, and she's pretty much like, you can't do anything about it anyway. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm not part of Men in Black anymore either, because she's trying to worm his way in there. That's
and she sees right through the bullshit.
Yeah, because not a good liar or something.
And as all this is happening, Agent M is scaling a fucking cliff face
because
free-handing it.
Sure, I mean she's a women in black now
because a desk jockey has rock climbing experience.
Yeah. She's got strong hands. Yeah, lots of typing.
Yeah, typing. So she climbs up this mountain face, and Chris Hemsworth gets rid of the bodyguards that he gets sent down with by throwing them into the ocean after beating the fuck out of them.
It took like 2 seconds. I looked down, I looked back up.
Yeah,
like, they're already gone. Okay.
You have to write notes, and all of a sudden it's done.
Yep, I did.
And then he walks in the security room and turns off the security systems with a simple flick of a joystick. That is all he had to do.
I mean, he's looking around. They got like 20 monitors and a big bunch of panels, and there's this one joystick, and he's like, boop.
And it's done.
It turned it all off. The super death ray attack stuff. Autocannon. Yeah. It's crazy.
All those turned off. So now we have...
So now Agent M can scale.
Scale the rest of the way up and get in. And meanwhile, Pawnee is escaping from his mason jar prison.
Cutting it out perfectly.
In the exact same shape that he's in.
And it then cracks and breaks.
And alerts
Riza, who's on the phone already trying to make a deal, trying to getting rid of her hot commodity.
Yeah, because everybody in the universe really likes world-destroying guns, which is not untrue.
Yeah, I mean, sure, if I could have one, I guess I would. If
I was an aspiring solar system, I'd want a world-destroying gun. I wouldn't want to leave my front yard to destroy something.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much work to get in my spaceship and drive somewhere.
Yeah, it's so hard to get my millions of unpaid labor people to do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they do this really cool scene of her chasing around the little guy that she kind of pities and tortures by chasing him around. Meanwhile, M slips in through a window, grabs the gun, Riza notices, and comes and starts a pretty badass fight scene.
Yeah, I was actually really shocked that Agent M was able to win the fight. I mean, like, how do you figure that?
I honest to God think this movie put way too much hope into us not thinking that far into it. Because, again, they have shown us nothing to give us any context for her skill level in anything.
true.
Except for when they first throw a challenge at her.
I mean, they should have said, like, she does kickboxing or booty boot camp or something.
Something, because she just kicks this alien's ass with 3 arms. After, of course, she takes a lot of good hits.
Oh, yeah. Not even a scratch on her face, though.
Apparently. Makeup artwork didn't want to go that far. But they, eventually the fight gets worn down to the point where she cleverly puts a rope around one of the woman's arms and then kind of leads her around different obstacles and gets her yoinked on it, then proceeds to beat the hell out of her some more.
But they cut over to Chris Hemsworth, who is fighting Stitch.
Yeah, getting the fuck beat out of him. There's not even a fight here.
I was really... Okay, so they put the scene in the trailer of that he picks up a little hammer and he throws it.
They played it up so much in the movie that they were beating you over the head with the Chris Hemsworth is using a hammer, and he throws it just like Thor's hammer. Mm-hmm. He does the overarm holdout throw, and I could hear the collective movie theater sigh because we all knew it was coming, and we all were dreading that they would play it up in the movie.
That might have been mostly my sigh. It was terrible.
It was bad. It was really bad. I love Chris Hemsworth, but they need to let him get away from that role.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine for the trailer, but
don't put it in the actual movie.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that you just cut out of the actual movie because you know people are going to hate it, but they left it in.
Yeah, it's a wink-wink thing in the trailer. It's like, oh, look, this is the guy who played Thor. Look, he's got a hammer. Haha, he's going to throw the hammer. Okay, yeah, sure. And then they put it in the movie, too.
Wait a minute. Does this mean the headcanon that Agent Coulson's dad is actually Agent K? Does that mean this is true now? Do we have a connected universe here?
Oh, no. Oh, God.
Oh, headcanon confirmed. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay, but for realsies, they do this scene, and he gets the snot beaten out of him, and he's dragged up to RZA. And RZA's now contained by Agent M, who now has Pawnee on her shoulder, and the weapon of mass destruction in her hands.
And then Pawnee's like, nah, bitch, I'm with
this woman.
Yeah, I'm with the other one.
I'm with the good one, the good queen.
And he yoinks it out of her hand, right? He knocks the MacGuffin out of her hand.
Yeah, and then Agent M picks it up, and then Agent H gets escorted, air quotes, into the room, aka choke locked and thrown into the ground really hard.
Because Stitch is a beast.
Stitch is a badass motherfucker is what he is. He gives no fucks.
And then we have a touching reunion.
Yes, because for some reason, somehow RZA gets out of it and turns the turntables on. They used H as leverage against M to get the cube back.
Well, the Tarantian is Stitch from the opening.
Yeah, and me and Justin had a moment when this happened where I, for the second time, looked over at him and went, fuck this movie.
It's too easy, guys. It's too easy.
They literally looked up every cliche in a sci-fi movie they could have done and put it into this movie. Because what does Agent M do? She says the one thing he said in that language to her.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what it is.
Instantly knew who she was.
Yeah. But the translation is something like, I'll kill anyone that you want in the worst
gruesome
way.
and horrifying way possible.
It's like, oh, that's a good thing to tell a child, yeah.
That's a good thing to know now.
I mean, it's like, it would have been good to know at the time. Though it might have been used.
She basically uses him as the fourth MacGuffin in this movie to make him turn his gun on his boss.
Because Agent M had saved his life
as a youngin.
When he was.
And again, this movie just beats you over the head with these characters are fucking honor bound and destined to do this, like Anakin in the sand. And they get out. They get out scot free.
Yeah, they just walk out.
They straight up fucking walk out. None of the other henchmen bothered them. And then the Wonder Twins make an appearance again.
Yeah, so they're just walking along the beach. Who knows where they're going?
They were trying to head back to the boat, I think.
Yeah, even though they're up on a very high cliff.
Yeah,
and maybe there's like some stairs or something. Do they have to rappel down?
I'm not going to question it too much. This movie already makes my brain hurt enough.
And so then they're there, and the Wonder Twins show up, and they make the ground melt on either side of our protagonists there, and so that they got him on a little spit of land, and then they're just they're like, all right. And so Agent M opens up the weapon, and she's like, well, if you guys want to die, I mean,
we'll just use this to wipe you guys out. We'll do
Yeah.
anything to protect our planet.
Yeah.
To which they finally speak and respond to, we would do anything to protect ours.
yeah.
And that's when you have the,
Hint, hint.
huh, what? And then, like that same scene, they get fucking vaporized before anybody can say anything else.
Because Agent High T shows up with his crew, and they just obliterate the Doublemint twins there.
As he says, anything in the universe can be killed with the right amount of voltage.
Yeah. And so it's just, they turned it up to 11, I guess, and just...
And they have a touching reunion where Agent K, or Agent High T, I'm so sorry about that. Agent K is now in my mind permanently.
Uh-oh.
But Agent High T then pipes up with the universe puts us where we need to be when we need to be there, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And again, beating us over the head with that metaphor and that saying.
And because he just shows up out of the blue, he has no idea what's going on. And it's like,
nowhere.
all right. And I'm like, wait a second. That can't, no, don't
And
end.
I think at this part is...
Like, what? That was way too
because
easy.
they kind of put it into a soft ending, almost.
Yeah.
And Justin actually looked over at me and went, no. And I was like, no, keep watching.
His hand gestures and everything, like, no, that's not... even
Because we thought we were getting a happily ever after there.
Yeah, the High T easy save was way too easy.
And then we get to the after party, where all of these agents are gathered together.
Everyone's high-fiving and butt-slapping, and it's great.
And the weapon gets put into containment and taken away.
Mm-hmm.
But Agent M isn't convinced. Agent M goes, this ain't right. How did he find us?
Yeah.
And steals Agent H away from the party, because Agent H also knows something is wrong. He knows this was way
don't
too
feel
fucking
right, yo.
easy. He did what the rest of the audience did when this was too easy.
Yeah.
And he steals away, and they both start walking towards the evidence lockers because they want to see the weapon again and make sure it's still safe.
Yep. Which was put into a briefcase, or was that already taken?
Yeah, it was put into a briefcase
Yeah.
and taken back into storage. And
Yeah.
while they're walking there, they're trying to find the file for this mission.
Yeah.
And it's
file's
gone.
been deleted.
And there's only one person in the entire branch who can do that.
The accountants.
It was Terry from accounting. God damn it, Terry! But Agent High T
Oh, man,
is
that
the
guy.
only one who can do it.
That guy.
So they, of course, go straight to the evidence locker to find the gun. And the woman gives them a little bit of backlash about trying to get the gun again.
Don't give me any lip.
And she opens up the case,
'Cause
and
Reveal, nothing's there.
the gun is gone. That's
What?
it. And everybody goes, fuck. And then Agent H has a moment and goes, I know where we have to go.
Aha!
Where? Paris.
Yeah.
And they take the super fancy supercar to Paris.
And they hit the red button.
They hit the red button and fly to Paris.
Oh, they try to get the car. They find that the other car is already old and busted, and then the new one there, Lexus product placement.
Yeah.
Lexus, you could sponsor us too.
Yeah, that'd be very nice. I'd
mean-
like a new Lexus, actually.
I don't even need a car. You could just give us money.
I do need a car.
Okay.
I'm kidding. But they, they take the Lexus, hit the red button, they fly off.
Yeah.
And we end up in Paris.
Back where we started. Eiffel Tower, baby.
And they pull the same exact driving stunt they do in the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
And they head on up. And Agent M asks Agent H, how did they save the day? Because she already knows something isn't right here. Mm-hmm. And he says, we saved the world with our wits and our
Series 7 deatomizers.
Yeah.
And it's plastered everywhere. It's so they have
They have a giant painting in the office.
Yeah, they have a painting of the first from the first Men in Black movie, and they of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, and they have another painting right next to it of Chris Hemsworth and Liam Neeson, Agent H and High T from the very opening scene where they won, and no one's ever given any details about this fight. It's just, how did you win? With our wits and our Series 7 deatomizers. And so she asks him again.
And again, and again. And he
and
responds
he
the same way every time.
He's like,
because
I'm just repeating myself, aren't I?
And that's when they realize,
Oh, dude,
fuck.
you got you're neuralized.
You got neuralized.
They jacked up
That
your brain.
means... And that's when they realize High T is the bad guy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because, like, they don't... I guess he got body snatched or something.
He got bandersnatched by our good friend, the Hive.
Yeah, the Hive... And so the Hive's been posing for the last year of... calendar year... as Agent High T, looking for this particular weapon.
And he finally set up all the pieces just right to get it.
Yep.
So that nobody could stop him. And of course, he's up in the Eiffel Tower opening the gateway to the Hive world to pull the entire Hive over to this world to consume all worlds.
Yeah, it's a big tentacle monster.
Yeah, it's a big Eldritch Horror tentacle monster.
It's pretty...
Hermanius Mora looking guy.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
And...
nothing special about him. And yeah, and so we find Chris Agent H is like trying to appeal to the humanity of the tentacle monster. Like, I looked at you like my dad.
You were like my dad. I was like a son to you.
I was like a son, and then all of a sudden you see the eyes change, and that Agent High T is sort of coming through, and he opens his hand, and after some Valkyrie gets pulled into the into the Bifrost that's being opened up.
God.
That's bringing Hive in.
How wrong can we get this movie in one sentence?
Yeah. Well, so they opened up the portal to bring the Hive over, but then Agent M gets thrown into the portal, and then Stuber goes in and has like a little grappling gun thing. He has two of them actually, and he grapples her and then grapples back to the what, I don't know what he grappled onto.
The grate on the ground.
The grate, yeah, and he pulls her back in, and then the tentacle monster opens up his hand, and they smack out the MacGuffin, the gun, and then Agent M comes back in, picks up the gun, and
Full
turns
power
it up,
blast.
turns it up to 11, and blasts the shit out of everything
in that fucking portal.
Yeah, it goes straight through the tentacle monster. It goes straight down the Bifrost and kills Hive and whatever else is on the other side of that.
We don't know what happened on the other side of the universe when that happened, but we're just going to assume nothing bad.
Yeah, it's all good, folks. It's all good. Don't worry about it. And because we used our wits and our Series 70 atomizers.
And like that, the movie is pretty much over. We get the nice victory, hoorah,
yep.
And then they go downstairs along the Eiffel Tower.
More high fives and butt slaps.
Yeah, where Agent O is there.
Agent O from the beginning.
And she goes, I always knew something was wrong with the London branch. And it's like, why wouldn't you send an actual team down here? You sent this random fucking new person. But
sure, whatever.
At this point in the movie, I had then done my third fuck this movie to Justin.
Yeah.
Because this movie, honest to God, pissed me off a lot. And
so we get, the London branch now needs a new boss, and instead of promoting Agent C to Agent High C, which would have
been fucking brilliant.
It's so much better, guys. Come on. Instead, you promote Agent H to the boss, and it's like High H. Oh, come on, that doesn't. No.
It's just. Let's also point out, like I pointed out earlier, Agent H is the worst person to make in charge of this branch, in universe, out of universe, because it takes him out of the equation for the next movie, and in universe, he has shown he's a fuck up in every aspect of the way. Like, none of what he did right wound up working.
Yeah, he just kind of lucked into everything. He plays Basil.
The universe has ways.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's exactly what it gets played off as. And Agent M gets told she's needed back in New York. She winds up bullshitting her way to stay there for long enough for one more car ride, apparently.
Yeah, and so it looks... I don't know, do you really... Okay, so do you think that Agent H comes back for the sequel?
I mean...
I
want him to, but I also hope they don't.
Yeah.
Because if they bring Agent H in, they have to find a reason for Agent H, the head of a branch, to not be in his branch.
Yeah. Unless,
I would love to see them work together again as actors, but at the same time, holy fuck, this movie was a burning train wreck of shit.
So that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, sorry, we should have been more...
So that's it. It's over. Done. Credits and...
no end credit scene, thank Christ.
Yeah, no end credits. Just get out of there.
And
as fast
I'm
as you
gonna
can.
let
Get
Justin,
neuralized on your way out.
Yeah. Justin, please, you take the first end, and then I will finish this off, because fuck me. I have so much to say.
So, my conclusion about this movie is it was done... It was done well. The action scenes were okay-ish, but they all looked good. We've seen Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson on screen together. They were brilliant in Ragnarok. They tried to recreate that magic here, and the chemistry is there. The story not quite as much, though. It's sort of well. If you go into a movie with your expectations sufficiently lowered through the hearing about it in the grapevine, then you might actually come out with this a little bit better view of this movie than some. And I think that's what happened to me. And so I didn't think it was terrible. It was simple. It wasn't. It's kind of easy, classic double cross. Kind of things like, oh no, it's totally not that guy. It couldn't possibly be that guy, but it is. And so, yeah, it's how do you make this really good? I don't know. I mean, the cast was the right size. The story was simple enough. I think I would have liked some better developed villains. But I mean, the villain wasn't really a villain, but he also the Doublemint twins. They had like 2 lines the whole movie, so I don't know. My score, is it better than Godzilla was? I mean, I gave Godzilla a 5. This kind of feels like...
I feel like you gave Godzilla way too high of a score, but then again, I give it a 6, so...
Yeah, that's on you. I don't know. I think this is probably like a I'm not going to recommend anyone see it unless you love Men in Black. So maybe like a 5. I kind of somewhere between
a 4.5.
Yeah, it's like I was going to say a 4.5 to a 5.5, which just is a 5. So yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, 5. It's not better than Godzilla. It's not particularly worse. They each have good parts and bad parts, and so they're equally flawed movies in different ways. So that's my number, a 5. Draven, go.
Okay. As you all have heard various points through this podcast, I absolutely fucking hated this movie. And the reasons why are simply, we had a great cast. We had a star-filled cast of people who knew what they were doing, who were good at their jobs, and were put into the perfect roles for their acting styles. We had a great universe that's well developed already, that has amazing characters and fluff in it. You have a great choreographer going into the fight scenes. You have a great set of VFX studios working with you. You have a great production company working with you. You have all of these things lining up to work perfectly for you, and you butchered the most important part of any story, the fucking writing. The movie was simple, over-predictable, underdone in every aspect that it could have been better. Mm-hmm. It wasn't interesting beyond the visual gags to watch. The character interactions were very much forced and just kind of there to be there. I felt no reason that Agent H should have picked Agent M for this mission at all. It shouldn't have happened. But she, for some reason, got picked because the universe finds a way. And the movie hides behind that tagline for the purpose of it can't stand up on its own without that tagline, in my opinion. If I watched this movie without that tagline, this movie I wouldn't have stayed. I would have walked out and let Justin watch the rest of the movie alone. But that tagline is so fucking bad that it saves this movie because it has an in-universe, air quotes included, reason for it to be that magical. And I'm not saying that Will Smith's Men in Black debut wasn't forced, because it was. The Orion's thing on the keychain that this girl he liked had.
No, the cat.
It was on the cat. It was so fucking dumb, but we liked it because the rest of the movie was well written, the characters were good, and it worked. For this, the only part that failed was the most important part, the writing behind all of the good stuff. I would give this a 3. I'm actually going to tell my fiance, because she wanted to see this with me, I'm going to tell her I can't watch it again. I vehemently hate this movie and would not recommend anybody watch it unless they're getting a free ride.
Man. That's not
I'm
good.
Sorry. And that being said, none of the actors did anything wrong here. The director did great. Anybody who put their parts into this movie did great aside from the writing team. The writing team butchered this movie for me and killed it. So a 3 is where I'm going to put it.
Okay.
Thank you guys for listening to the GreyVillain podcast. Is there anything you want to close us out with, Justin?
Well, I think we're going to. What's the next thing that we're going to review? There's a bunch of good movies coming out in the next week. We have a Twitter account at the GreyVillain, and
Facebook page
and a Facebook page,
the GreyVillain podcast.
We will take suggestions on what to watch. But this week is Shaft, and next week is Child's Play. And the week after that, Spider-Man. I think those
Spider-Man,
would be.
and the week after that, we got the next Terminator movie coming out.
Yeah,
Angel Has Fallen. Like a ton of movies are coming out, so we're gonna be popping out these videos probably once a week.
At least once a week. We might come up with some other stuff as well. So we'll see what's cracking. But So keep checking in, and we will be posting updates on Twitter, social media, different stuff that we have. So I think that's where we're going to close. Don't see it.
Yeah, don't go and see it. Wait for it to come out on Redbox or something.
All right. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a